Me and my good friend, cooler than flamingos on the beach. Sand, better than the glove on the cane. Hand in sync like we in the 90s band. Yeah. Hey, what you doing? How your day been? Say, what we gonna talk about today, man?
What's up, good friends?
What's up, good friends?
I'm Nikki,
I'm Ashley.
and this is the Good Friend Podcast. This is the first episode. We're gonna be giving y'all a run through of pretty much our friendship and how we got here and how we got through different seasons of our friendship.
Yep. So, we're telling y'all to write in to us, but why should y'all write in to us? Why are we so critical for y'all to write in to us? So that's why we're doing part one before we get to any other emails. Okay?
Right.
All right. So we're gonna put a disclaimer out there too. We will be telling a real story, and we're gonna try to have certain things or certain people under the radar. We're not going to use no names. One person in particular, we're going to call this person. No name, just this person, because we don't want to put nobody out there. But it just so happens to be that this person has a lot to do with
Pretty much
the evolution.
of our friendship, basically. Yeah.
Evolution. All right, I'm not gonna do that this episode. I'm gonna be good. All right, so I'm gonna bring my little notes out. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't charge my phone. So how did we start?
So this is pretty much how we met. We had a statistics class. We were in I hate that word.
Man, you said it right this time, and then you went to fumbling.
I can say it once. We had a statistics class, and we had this professor, and I'm just gonna let her tell the story because she is the reason why. Yeah.
No,
you are.
You fed into it.
I did,
so the professor, he had, I don't know what he had. We're not picking at him. Well, no, we're not picking at him.
No, not picking.
But we was laughing in class. He had this thing to where every minute he was like, so he could be in the middle of a sentence and just, it just do that, right? So I don't know. One day in particular, he must have been on 100, and I think he did one last, and I was like, dang, right. I'm like, no, the hell, like, did he swallow the choke? And we couldn't contain ourselves. I think she walked out.
I did. It was hard. It was horrible.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
I wasn't trying to, but I was young.
And then that's pretty much how we met.
Mm-hmm.
We met in that class, and her being goof troop. So yeah, that was that.
And then
I
said that your car was on fire.
Oh yeah,
I texted you.
She texted me, told me that my car was on fire.
I don't know why I did that.
I don't know why she did it. I really thought my car was on fire because I ran to the window to see if it was on fire.
I just drove by,
and she was just playing.
I was gone.
So that was that on that.
That and intramural basketball.
Yeah, we played intramurals, and yeah.
Then there was a gap.
And there was a gap in between that.
And this was up. We're rounding up about 2007.
Yeah,
2008ish.
Yeah.
Around next time you saw me was when?
Sitting in my apartment, on my couch,
having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But she was confused because she didn't invite me there, so she was trying to figure out what I was doing there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Didn't know why she was sitting there.
Well, so after that, this is the part that we're talking about, ended up getting involved with somebody that you were involved with.
Something like that.
They had a little something going on, but I didn't know.
Yeah, it was.
And all of a sudden, I guess this person had kind of switched up on you.
Yeah.
Switched up on Nick and started talking to me.
And then I, to be fair, I can say, well, they did switch up on me because we were, we were tight, we were close, but they didn't have the same outlook of things like how I did. So they kind of played it a different way.
Was y'all cuddling? Okay. So that's how that started. We was just, like, it's Georgia Southern, it's intramurals. Everybody is around everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't run in the same circles, but we ran in the same circles.
Yeah, mainly
That's
through
weird.
sports.
Mainly through sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have any knowledge at that time that something was going on. Mm-hmm. But I know you was acting weird.
Mm-hmm.
And at first in my head, I was like, could they have had something going on?
Right.
But I had gone to this person's job and I began to say something about it. And the response was, nigga, act like we go together or something.
Right.
Because of course, you was responding to somebody all of a sudden not being around you.
Pretty much, yep.
So I was like, oh, okay. And I left it alone.
Right.
But I ended up being in a full-blown relationship with this person.
Mm-hmm.
Situationship. Because we ain't had no title. But
y'all
untitled ourselves for a whole year.
Y'all had relationship things
for a whole
without
year.
Relationship
title.
Credentials.
There you go. That's the word. Yeah. And then you moved.
I moved back home. Yep. And when I moved back home, whatever that whole situation with us, we stopped talking. It was kind of scarce, minimal, you know what I'm saying?
But we still did.
But even for me and that person, that was a total just it was a no more.
Yeah.
I existed no more. Pretty much. Yeah. I existed no more. Mm-hmm. And then I guess it was as the fast forward to when y'all broke up.
Broke up.
Broke up. Well, kind of.
And I was depressed. I was spiraling. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what was going on. It just hit me because somebody stopped talking to me abruptly.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang. I was like, but now I felt like I was acting
like how I was,
like how you were. And I was like, man, nah, I'm finna call Nick. Called you, and I proceeded to tell Nick what was going on, what happened, how I was feeling, and Nick on the other line talking about, yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. How you feel?
It had a tone to it.
Yeah, I'm like, well, why don't you just tell me? Because no, I don't know what you mean. Tell me. I was like, just tell me. Mm-hmm. And you ended up telling me, how y'all were up until that moment that I showed up.
Right.
And I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, why you didn't tell me?
And I told you I didn't tell you because it really was nothing to tell. It was like, it was a one-sided situation. And I couldn't just be like, yeah, man, we dated, because that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all ain't had no title.
Yeah, I don't even want to call
we ain't had no title though. So it was,
I'm going to just say, whatever it wasn't on the other side. So, just me, myself, and I.
That's all you got in the end. That's what you found out.
I found that out. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, after that, we kind of still kept in contact.
Right.
And then 2016 happened. Mm-hmm. So, we jumping from...
It's like 08
to
all the way to
2016. Because we were good.
We were good. There. Right. You and I were good.
We were good. We hit each other up. Mm-hmm. Every now and then I'd pop up at your job because you worked at...
I worked at the Hat Shack.
And I used to walk up in there when I was in Augusta.
Right.
And so we were good. Mm-hmm. 2016.
Yep.
This person came back around. Mm-hmm. But actually this person came back around with me first.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because we had no...
They do this to me every single time we start.
Just turn it off. We didn't have any me and the other person didn't have any communication going on. It was like a minimal thing, like birthdays, happy birthday, boom, that's it. All right, how you doing?
We ain't had
You know what I'm
none.
saying? Maybe like once every blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I was, communicating. So when we did link back up, everybody linked back up around 2016. That was my first time
Linking
back up with the person. And
the birthday.
yeah,
when
we was
came
together.
down.
You know, they came down to celebrate a friend's birthday, and then yeah,
That's what opened the door for y'all talking, right?
pretty much, yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much.
And then we were all in a group chat planning
A trip.
to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that trip got planned. It was all of us planning the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I'm already knowing I got this secret to pretty much hold in because like we said, we were friends.
We were friends.
And we planned the trip. I wanted to tell my friend before we even went on the trip that, hey, me and said person had something going on. Because I felt it was only right for you to know and not be kept in the dark about it. But nobody thought that was a good idea.
They didn't think that was,
it was a good idea.
Because they knew if they told me before the trip, I wasn't going.
Right.
And I wasn't going.
Yeah, I wouldn't have went
Right.
either.
I wasn't going to go. So we get to South Carolina, and acting funny. I'm like, man, I done seen this before. Couldn't look me in my eyes.
Right. And disclaimer for that though, I could act funny. I had all right to act funny.
Yeah, I ain't say you did.
I had all right
because
to
they should have let you. They
should have let me get that out.
Get that out, and because you knew I wasn't no dummy anyway.
Yeah, I knew, and I know her. I know she ain't. She knows stuff.
She be gonna pick that up.
She gonna because I'm not good at pretending or acting like something ain't what it is. Or
it was just weird.
Yeah,
it was weird. So. You weren't really talking. You weren't really being yourself. And the crazy thing is, I'm like, something weird going on between them. I was like, I wonder, are they talking again? And so I'm just asking you, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm like, man, she can't even talk to me. I was like, yeah, something going on. And so I think we were in the mall. We were in the mall. And I got a FaceTime from my ex. And this person was standing by me when I got the FaceTime. And my ex was like, you know, Nick and this person going together again, right?
Yeah, knows this.
I said, I knew it. I said, I knew it. I said, I knew it. These, now I may have called them the N-word. I was like, these niggas got me on this trip and they doing this. So I decided I was going to pick at them a little harder. We're playing spades and y'all walk out.
Yeah.
Because I guess this person called themselves like, let me come out here and talk to you, see what's wrong. So I guess I was supposed to see it as this person trying to calm you down and check on you. And y'all in the hallway and y'all see me walk outside, right?
Yeah.
Well, I walked down the hall. Did I walk by y'all?
You did walk by, trying to peek the scene and trying to make sure we knew that you knew
that I knew that this was weird
without saying any words.
Like,
just
I
know
now. I know something going on. And then the crazy thing is, our other friend or your friend that was there, I looked. I said, "You don't think that's weird?" Before I walked out,
I can only imagine the face you had. I already know the face you had.
Don't think that's
like. Meanwhile, in the back of your mind, like, I do know. Like,
I'm really trying to help y'all out. Now, if Uber was around at that time, I would have left
Jump
because
ship.
why would I want to be around that? You
Right.
know, I was already dealing with depression from
Yeah,
my
situation.
relationship going up in smoke and
Right.
stuff was just happening. And so I just kept, hey, what's wrong with you? Like, man, you tripping. Like, what's wrong with you? And I guess now that I think about it, it wasn't doing it justice because everybody around you was saying that to you.
Yeah.
Even they were
Like
saying that to you.
y'all, right? Y'all playing me like I'm tripping.
Like I'm tripping.
Like I
Now,
don't
to
have
me,
no reason to be tripping.
yeah, it would seem like you tripping. But for them to
Like, y'all
come
know
in
what's
and do
up.
that,
Don't do
was,
that.
yeah, that's crazy. That shouldn't have
Y'all
happened.
try to play me real foolish.
That shouldn't have happened. And I know that was a lot on you. That's
It
that's
was.
how it gave it away. Because you couldn't function.
And then, cause I'm pretty sure I was upset at the fact that y'all still playing me in my face as if y'all don't know what's going on too. So it was a lot of different emotions going on at the time. Like, I had a lot going on. I had trying to lie. I ain't that good at it.
But you know, at that moment too, I was in the middle of trying to figure out, like, I was like, if this is going on, I can't be here. You know? And we got back because I had to ride back with that person.
Right.
And I think I sat on it for a while. I ain't talked to nobody really. I don't even think I said anything in the chat.
Probably not. No, I doubt it, because we didn't even really talk much
In the chat after that. And then I called you. I was at work. I was on a break. I was like, you know what? I'm about to call because it's something about your friend confirming something. Like, even though I saw it and somebody else confirmed it,
Yeah.
I needed to talk to you.
Right.
And so I was like, if I'm asking questions, I already know. And then you told me.
Yep.
And then I got off the phone with you, and I guess I text that person because that person ended up contacting you.
Right.
And talking to you about it. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, I can't be friends with her.
Right.
Because what I'm going to do when I call you or come down there, how you and so doing?
Yeah.
Because I really did not care.
I know you didn't care.
Like, I wasn't going to care how y'all was doing, but
yeah.
I knew it was going to play on my mental because I had been in a relationship with this person for a whole year. I keep saying relationship, but the more and more I think about not having that title, it's like we just had a situationship.
It was a situation.
It may have felt good, but it just was a situationship.
Right.
And then later on, I just thought that it couldn't have been nothing real on that person's behalf because I don't understand how you could jump like that.
Right.
And didn't have no remorse for it. But anyway, it was playing on my mental and it was going to play on my mental because I already felt like I wasn't good enough for a relationship because my ex the one that called me and said and confirmed it, didn't want to be in a relationship. Right. And we was together for what, 5 years?
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that come along and you come back over here and you choose my friend, I ain't good enough. Eesh. So it was one of them things where I couldn't be around that. I think I had been around that even in my childhood where people have overlooked me to go to my friends and I'm just sitting there like the reject, the third wheel, which I was the wheel.
You were.
I wasn't even the third wheel. It was a couple more people that was coupled up. I was just the wheel. I may have been the training wheel.
The chauffeur.
But that almost messed up our friendship.
Yeah, it did.
Because I wasn't going to be able to be there. And I think, had y'all not crumbled, because y'all crumbled after that.
Yeah, it did.
Like, the communication abruptly stopped with you, right?
It was like it kind of lingered for a little bit, but it was nothing like it was then until it just
vanished.
Yeah.
So, me and you kind of stayed friends because we were depressed.
Yep.
Together. Okay.
Yep. Together. And that's when we decided to, kind of go in this journey together.
With the Lord.
Yeah. We started reading the Bible, fasting, praying, the things
Y'all, I can't lift my arm. I had broke my shoulder, so
Yes.
I can
Yeah.
only do this.
Only that left hand. Okay. Go ahead.
So yeah, so we were good,
Mm-hmm.
and then you,
Oh yeah.
something else.
No. That was it. Cause
That was it.
We was
We was on a journey,
right.
and somewhere along the way, Nick said, "You know what? I'm gonna go on off this cliff right here and get off this journey." And I'm like, and it just happened all of a sudden to me, and I'm like, what's going on over here? And I was just on the little journey alone because I wasn't about to go back, because it was one of those things where I had gone in cycles over and over and over again.
Right.
Until at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be obedient to what God had been telling me, and I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna sit down and chill, and I ain't finna do nothing but get myself right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you was gone.
I dipped. I fell off that journey quick. I ain't proud of it, but hey, that's what it was at the time. And then, but even so when I did that, our communication and our connection kind of was a little shaky.
It was shaky because
we was pretty much going in two different directions.
Two different directions. It's like the things you was entering into, I wasn't trying to be around it because I really needed to stay away from it.
Yeah.
So that I can get the healing that I needed to get.
Right.
And it was like we hit each other up, but it wasn't the same. And then I ended up talking to you another time though. And I feel like I end up talking to you at the times where God is probably talking to you also.
Oh yeah,
because I was like, what made you go back?
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I don't know, but I can tell you. Listen, this is how I was reading the text message.
Go ahead.
I'm in the bathroom and God just been convicting me. I just been crying. I've been listening to sermons and I know I need to stop. And I'm like, well, why don't you leave it alone?
It was too comforting.
Yeah.
I was vulnerable and it was familiar. And at the time I didn't really, I'll just say I probably didn't want to.
Didn't want to stop. It felt good.
Yeah.
Feels so right.
All right now.
But you still ended up getting back on the track.
I did
for a little while. And then there go squirrel.
That was a squirrel chasing acorns.
Acorns. That little slow behind squirrel on the ice age.
Absolutely. About to die.
Over an acorn.
Over an acorn. It ain't that. It's not that good.
And
oh man.
The next time I was getting ready to talk to you is because I was ready to throw the whole friendship away. And in my head, I was like, you know what? Let me have a conversation because she don't know that I feel this way about her.
Right.
And so I texted you and told you that we needed to have a conversation. And you was like, okay. And we ended up talking on the phone. I ended up telling you how I felt about our friendship, how I felt about you going ghost, and just different little things. And then at the end of that conversation, I said, what made you go back?
The question of the day, the question of my life.
What made you go back? And you just, no. We'll talk about that later. That's what you told me. You said
we'll talk about that later.
Because you was
I was. I sure was.
Pulling up.
Couldn't talk about that then.
Couldn't talk about it then. And so the next time I saw you, you was sliding down my news feed like Trick Daddy and them in Miami.
Popping bottles.
Slip and slide records.
Popping champagne.
Popping champagne in front of a brand new house. And I said, what is this nigga doing? What are you doing? Like I was infuriated because I was like,
oh man,
she already know.
Yeah, Absolutely new.
And so
Mm.
I wanted to choke everything out of you.
Mm-hmm. I know you did. And
I
I know you
did.
choked me a couple of
In the
times. In the spirit.
spirit.
I got choked up.
You got choked up.
I know you was mad.
I was like, come on, man. Come on.
And not even for just like she had all right to be mad. That's my friend. Friends should be mad when they friends out there doing stupid stuff.
Chasing acorns.
You know what I'm saying? Chasing empty dreams. Anyway.
Yeah. But I think I still stayed and talked you through
Mm-hmm. You did.
what was going on.
Right.
I was still frustrated.
Right.
I was frustrated to the point where I had another friend that was praying for you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad God
Mm-hmm.
laid that on her heart also.
Yeah, me too.
To pray for you. I was praying for you. My sister was praying for you.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I know, like I've been there, and I know, like until you do what God tell you to do, you're not gonna get on the track that He wants you on. And I know you wanted to be on that track.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you not going on that right track, you gonna find yourself getting closer. I mean, further and further away
to where you don't care.
Yeah, because that was where I was.
You was there. I could see it though.
I was really there. I didn't care, and I was gonna be doing what I was gonna be doing. Like had I not had that, y'all praying for me and you constantly being on me and stuff like
randomly
that, texting me stuff. Yeah, like in moments where I'm like,
I be like, I hadn't heard from you in a long time.
As soon as I see
what
that,
you doing?
Right. As soon as I see that, I be like, I don't even respond right away. I look at it and I'm like,
I don't want to hear that.
I put the phone down. I don't want to hear that. I don't even want to talk about that. It's probably take me a little second, or I might respond in a real, none.
Yeah, I know. Well, God laid you on my heart, or either I had a dream.
You always,
man. It to see your friend in a burning house, and they just in the window crocheting, like the house ain't on fire.
Don't
it do something to you.
But you
and
don't
the crazy
see
thing is, during that journey, you walk out the house and walk back in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Walking back in a burning house.
Yeah, I didn't feel them flames. And you feel like I lied.
You felt them.
I felt them.
I know you felt them.
I felt them.
You just in the taste.
I just was in the inhaling smoke.
Taste it. Taste it.
Yeah.
Glitter, sprinkle.
It tasted good at one moment, at a point, but then, I knew. Me, the whole time I was being convicted though. So I already knew. I at some point I was gonna
have to do it.
Have to do it.
Even if you just got in full blown commitment, you knew that later on you was gonna have to do it. Just was gonna waste your time,
waste my time, and waste other people's time, because it was gonna have to end regardless. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, but we paired it out. I mean, God didn't let me let go of that friendship. I almost gave up on the friendship again, because
Yep.
It's one of them things where we was on different paths again, but to me, when we were on different paths, it's like I ain't have my friend there.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't talk about the same stuff. We couldn't go to the same places. And it was a lot of stuff that you was missing, in my life. And I was like, man, I'm done. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I was walking around that park because I had made up my mind. I'm gonna just let this go. And God said, Nikki. I said, no, what are you doing? Let her go.
Hey, you want to let her go that bad?
I want to let your behind go. That's just crazy. Like South Carolina just let this championship go.
They did.
They ain't want it.
They absolutely didn't want it.
Yes, I wanted to be done with it, because it was taking me like this. And I was like, no, don't you put that in my chest. Like, because I feel like I had emptied it. Like, I felt like at that point, I ain't care.
Yeah.
Whether we was friends or not.
That's crazy.
And any kind of feelings I had toward it, I had extinguished it.
Right.
And he put fresh new
Fresh oil.
Oh, fresh oil, yeah. Fresh, it was
Put fresh oil on
grace.
that.
And it was like, yeah, I know how this process goes, but still,
Yeah.
I'm getting burned.
Yeah.
But I guess he said, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe you off and give you some more. You got it. And I texted you and told you what happened. And we've been kicking it
since.
ever since.
Ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, that was crazy.
That's crazy.
And just to think, something that shouldn't have even been doing in the first place, pretty much was about to ruin our friendship.
We had a couple things about to ruin our friendship.
Absolutely.
That person almost ruined our friendship a couple times.
And me just out here
just doing what you want to do.
Just doing what I want to do. And
but you don't notice that. Just like you told me when we were on the phone, you're just like, man, I guess I never know because I'm just out here doing what I want to do and not even worried if it's bothering other people or affecting other people.
Yeah.
And
so when you really just doing stuff, I don't get too,
caught up.
But you just caught up in that stuff and you just out there and you don't really have a mind for anything else but that. And that's why I can see how that's why it is easy I won't say easy, but it makes sense when friendships start to, go separate ways because.
But I think we blessed because people who get into friendships in the beginning, it's a commonality there.
Yeah.
And once somebody starts growing, the commonality. Everybody did it just like you did statistics.
Right.
Is gone. And so they don't get that friendship back.
Right.
But I guess we had more things in common than what we knew.
Right.
Because, girl, I ain't gonna never forget. We was in the kitchen and you was in there humming like you was out in the field. Them old church songs.
When?
It was a while ago. And I was like, you know that song?
Oh, yeah. You was like,
yeah. He was like, yeah, I used to be at church. I said,
right.
What?
Right. You was so shocked.
I was so shocked.
Hey, no, shit, right? I ain't even gonna lie. When you responded like that, and my mom thinking like, "Well, dang, like I ain't know heathen like that, like."
Because I had never heard it.
Right, I know.
I had never heard you sing them. Like I'm like these songs that because I was in church.
Like, you had to be in church to know them songs.
Church,
yeah.
Bible study, prayer meeting, Sunday school,
all of that.
So I was like, wait a minute, them songs that you had to really be in church, and I was just like, oh shoot.
Yeah. That was, started to bring back. The stuff in the back of my brain started to come to the front, after you.
Yeah. So we may have had more in common than what we knew.
Right.
So even though a commonality was that person,
right,
it was other things there.
That's like what you were saying. How like God comes in and because the foundation that was a weak. Horrible foundation.
That was a horrible foundation.
So it's horrible. It shouldn't have lasted.
You're right.
Shouldn't have lasted at all.
Well, that was from 07, 08, all the we had 2025.
2025.
So we know a little something about friendships and navigating and situations and relationships. And
how to, move. And
move forward,
progress,
yeah,
handle things, and
okay,
yep.
So let's get into these questions. I'm gonna ask them, and we'll both give answers.
Okay.
All right. So what are some takeaways that people should get from our friendship?
Of course, communication. Not effective communication,
Mm-hmm.
not just, you know, and it's important to be able to be open to it, you know, when it comes to I feel like that's really what kept us able to stay friends, because communication, because like if you would have got stuck on your emotions and just didn't say anything, and had I, you know, we wouldn't be friends.
Yeah.
And that's important. Friendships go through different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it ain't gonna always be all good. It's a relationship. It ain't like it. I mean, it's, you know, it go through ups and downs. And always make sure God is at the center of anything that you do, especially relationships, because, you know, keep God at the center.
He laid the foundation.
And he does. He lays the foundation.
God is purposeful, so your friends are included in that.
Awesome. Yep.
So they serve a purpose in your life too. And I think why we are here is because both of us had and have individual journeys with God,
Right.
like the relationship.
Yeah.
And so having that journey, I guess we got different foundations ourselves, or built a foundation, and our friendship built the foundation. And he just laid the items on top of the foundation. Like he just add things on the foundation.
Yep. And we already know this is what he wanted anyway. You know, when he So yeah.
This wasn't supposed to be that kind of podcast, was it? Maybe. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is
what it's gonna be.
What it's gonna be, because that's the.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's the journey.
Because anything that's purposeful, anyway, anything that we do, if it's, how I was trying to word it, like how you said, God has, you know, everything has a purpose. I mean, so if it ain't that kind of, if it wasn't supposed to be that kind of podcast, you know, I mean,
hey,
we'll see how it goes.
Huh? Next question. When did you realize, or what gave you confirmation that we were friends for real?
The time when you basically pretty much stuck by my side, or stayed with me, even the time when you didn't want to do that, when it was very evident that you was ready to walk away, but you stood in it, and you kept being on me, you kept being in my ear, you kept checking on me, you know, even going through your stuff, the stuff that you was going through at the time, you were still there, you know. And then it just kind of solidified it for me, because I'm like, most people would brush it off. Oh, you melting? You know, most people, they would have walked away. For real, they would have
walked away in 2016.
Oh, they would absolutely walked away. That would have been the end all be all, because I would have walked away. But anyway, that was another thing too. That was another reason. That's why I say it's a couple of times when I'm like, dang, she really my friend, because she's still here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I got a comment in my head, but I'm going to tell you when we get off of the podcast. Just remind me.
Okay, I'm going to say that.
We friends for real.
We friends for real?
Okay. Right. Okay, so mine is after we had that talk, and you actually started to change some things. Like, I started seeing you put more effort in to the friendship. And to me, that was big, because everybody else that I have talked to raised my concerns about, and they never corrected anything. They just remained being selfish and stubborn. And I had to put a boundary down and leave.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming to you with this concern, and I ain't important enough for you to at least change this stuff. Like, you don't have to change you.
Yeah, no.
But sometimes the way you be treating people be jacked up.
That is true.
Absolutely
true.
You take your friends for granted sometimes.
Oh, don't they?
And so when you started changing, I was like, that's great, because I've never seen nobody do that for me.
Right.
Especially after the pregnancy, being in the NICU, the months in the NICU with the girls, and just being home, you know everything that I went through. And for you to come down here and get hands on with the girls and even wash the bottles at night, so I didn't have to come up and do it. And I could shower and go back down there with my children, even though they was getting ready to wake me up.
Absolutely gonna wake up.
It still
10
was,
minutes.
it was something, it alleviated something.
Right.
And I appreciated that.
Yeah.
That's why they around here now talking, Nikki,
Like,
Nikki.
they're my girls. They might like little tiny friends.
Little tiny friends. Take them with you. But
Bring them back.
Twins is hard, yo. So yeah, when you started changing, I knew you was for real. I was like, man, because I was on a record of just letting people go because you show people how to treat you.
And you got to.
You got to. It hurt you. Now I ain't gonna lie, it hurt me to put them boundaries up there.
Right.
But I had to. Because either I'm gonna allow you to keep hurting me. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it, hurt and heal.
Yep.
You know?
That's boy.
Yay! Uh-huh.
Listen.
Next one.
Yeah.
we got a couple of podcasts inside of this podcast that we could talk about.
It's a bunch of things we could talk about.
We still need y'all to write in though.
Yeah, still write in.
Well,
we got a lot of things.
How do you think having early conflict helps you navigate in future moments if things like that ever happen again?
Just being able to recognize it, like you'll know when a conflict's about to arise, because you'll be more prepared for it. You'll be able to kind of nip it in the bud a little bit quicker, a little faster. It helps ease communication because you'll already know how to communicate with your friend through conflict.
Know how to handle it.
How to handle it, yeah. So
discernment.
Absolutely, discernment. Oh yeah.
You can definitely have better discernment.
Yes, you do.
The first little thing sometimes is it'd be small.
Yep.
Once you know a person and I've been through a couple of seasons, it'd be small, but you can recognize it.
Yep.
Like you can know when something wrong with me.
Absolutely.
By my response, or by my body language. Aiden be like, when you get mad,
get short.
I get short.
You get short.
He said my
the shoulders go
high. He's like, I can tell. He's like, your shoulders be up here.
Yeah, high.
He told me one day I was standing like Trump. You know how Trump stand over? It's a picture, girl. I gotta show you.
Please show me.
I can't believe my husband said that about me. But so yeah, I agree with that. And just learning your friends and knowing how you can be there, how you can show up and stuff like that. Because sometimes people don't know how to show up for you.
You don't.
It's not an excuse because you can learn how to show up for people if you're concerned. If you're not selfish and stuff like that.
And a lot of times people are selfish. And that is absolutely the case.
Okay.
A lot of times people are selfish. And yeah.
So that definitely helps me a lot with you. I know
you know me.
Wrong with you. I would never tell you how the face that you make.
And I wish you would tell me.
So I know. No, I can't.
That way I can walk around like this.
I'ma know
the whole time.
It's like,
hey, you know what? If I walk around, my face gonna get red. trying to cover up how I'm really feeling.
You really can't hide it. It's like the wires in your brain start malfunctioning.
They do.
You can see it.
I want to get better at that though.
I can see lug nuts falling and everything on the inside of your brain.
Somebody just end up unscrewing stuff.
You can't
Oh,
function.
What you said? That's how you said that eyebrow. What you said?
That
you feel like
it be looking like a whole pyramid. We sitting up here like that. I'm like, dang. Like somebody drew it on.
A bad arch job.
Yeah, that joke would be up. I'm like, man, something wrong with her.
Gosh, I'm glad you know me though.
I know you. Well,
I'm glad you know
I walked through the house that day. I just walked through and I was like,
yeah, you did. You didn't stop at all.
Didn't stop at all. What you got going on today? Just knew.
As I'm looking at you like this, I know how I was sitting too. I leaned over, I had my phone in my hand like this, and you walking by, ask me, I'm like, then you come back, I say, what make you think something wrong with me?
Well, you know, all right.
Yeah, that was the end of that. We ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. You ain't say
But
nothing.
we talked later.
But we did. You knew it was something.
I knew it was something.
Because I knew it was something. Oh, Lord, I hate having to lie.
Hate having to lie. You can't.
Okay, I'm
You
not.
can't.
Oh,
You would. I
I'm
do
horrible.
know that about you. You malfunction.
Yeah,
You malfunction.
I do.
And it's that time we were at the Acts 242.
Yeah.
And Susan was talking and asking a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
know you had told me that you were supposed to be somewhere.
I was supposed to be somewhere else.
Yep. And so when she started asking you, it's like you started malfunctioning. You was like,
Yeah.
I said,
because I knew I couldn't respond to her the way I
Renee was
wanted
playing
to.
this song
Yeah,
for my
she
birthday.
was playing something for your birthday.
And
I couldn't.
You couldn't
say
even
nothing.
look me in my eyes. Like I was sitting there looking at you. And I was like, something going on. She can't tell her what's going on. What's
Right.
going on? Like,
I couldn't say yes or no, go to church. If I say, because I couldn't say yes, I'm going to go to church.
You couldn't because you was going to give
Because I was going to give everything away.
Yeah. Yeah. But I didn't even pray because I was so tired. I was tired. I think I was just
you
getting over something and my back
either.
was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I left the conference early.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I can't hide nothing from you.
Yeah, you can't. That was pathetic.
But see, that's how you know you really do be paying attention. Because if people really paid attention to me, they would know. Because I'll give away something quick. Like, I can't hide nothing.
Right? You can't hide nothing.
I can't hide nothing at all.
The thing is, what do people do when they see that though?
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Keep pushing.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to get into that.
I don't want to get into it. It's a whole
get
other
into that.
thing.
We don't want to get into that. But we just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
All right, folks, we got through the whole podcast. Y'all have no idea what we have gone through to get this episode.
Right.
And how tired we are.
Absolutely tired.
And how many times we actually done recorded this.
I gotta go check
on my twins now. They probably waiting to go to sleep. They waiting for mommy Ashley.
Right.
Ashley. mommy Ashley.
Oh, they definitely waiting. It's past that time.
All right, good friends. Until the next episode, remember, write in your stories. So y'all know we know a little bit. We know what we're talking about a little bit. We can help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely can help.
Count on me through thick and thin. A friendship that will never end.
Don't let me start the same.
Count on.
Count on me.
What's the email? Good friend podcast
1 at gmail.com. Good friend podcast 1 at gmail.com. Write your stories in. Let us help you.
Amen. Church over.
That's it.
All right, now I'm finna struggle to get out this feet right here because I'm big up in this place. Oh
my. Something's wrong with you.
That's my good friend. Good friend. That's my dog, that's my partner. She like my sister and I love